I raised my stepdaughter for 2 years, thinking I was her father. Then she said, "You're just the guy who raised me. You're not my real dad." My fiancé took her side, so I stopped supporting her and ended the relationship. Hello Reddit I plus here. When I first met Naomi, she was vibrant, charming, and full of fire. We were both in our late 30s, me, a self-made systems consultant, her, a nurse raising a 14-year-old daughter named Lila. From the start, Naomi made it clear that Lila's father wasn't in the picture. "He left when she was 2, she told me. "You'd be the only real father she's ever known." Those words stuck with me. For the first time in my life, I wasn't just building a future. I was building a family. I bought a house in a better school district, paid for Lila's private tutoring, took them on weekend getaways and Disney trips. Every school event, I was there in the front row clapping. We weren't married yet, but I was committed. Every cent I spent felt like investing in us. Lila even started calling me Dad. The first time she did, I nearly cried. Around Lila's 16th birthday, things began to shift. She became distant, dismissive. I'd ask her how school was. She'd shrug. I'd remind her about curfew. She'd roll her eyes. One night she came home an hour past midnight. I was sitting on the couch, worried sick. "Where the hell were you?" I asked, trying to stay calm. She scoffed. "You're not my real dad. You don't get to tell me what to do." Naomi, instead of backing me up, walked in behind her and muttered, "It's just a phase." I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I started noticing things I hadn't let myself see before. Naomi had stopped working regular shifts. Her excuse? "You make enough now." The car I bought, for the family, she started using it as if it were hers alone. And Lila? She'd gone from grateful to entitled. It wasn't, "Thanks for the new phone." It was, "Why didn't you get me the Pro Max?" It all came to a head 2 months later. I caught Lila sneaking out of the house in the middle of the night. She reeked of alcohol. I brought her inside, sat her down at the dining table and said, "This ends now. I'm not letting you throw your life away. You're grounded." That's when she exploded. "You can't ground me. You're not my real dad. You're just the guy who pays for everything." I was stunned. She stormed off. I turned to Naomi, expecting some kind of intervention. Instead, she shrugged. "She's technically right, Damon. You're not her biological father." "Wow," I said, standing up. "So that's what I am to you too? Just a walking wallet?" She rolled her eyes. "Don't be dramatic." That's when I made my decision. Quietly, without a fight. They thought I'd huff and puff. I smiled and began preparing my revenge. Not with fists or fury, but with silence and precision. That weekend, while they were out shopping, on my dime, I logged into every joint account. I closed the college fund I'd been building for Lila, removed Naomi as my beneficiary on all insurance and retirement accounts, called my lawyer, updated my will, went to the county office and pulled up the deed to the house. I had bought it alone. Her name, never on it. I canceled the secondary card on my American Express Naomi used for household expenses, froze the bank card she gave to Lila for emergencies. Then I waited. It started with the Wi-Fi. Then the electric bill bounced. The car got repossessed next. Naomi came home slamming the door. "Damon, what's going on? Everything's shutting down." I shrugged. "I stopped paying." "What do you mean stopped paying?" I leaned back. "You said I was just the guy who pays for things, so I stopped." "You're being vindictive." "No," I said calmly. "I'm being done." That night, Naomi begged to talk. I agreed. She cried. Said Lila was just lashing out, that we were still a family. I slid a manila envelope across the table. Inside, every receipt, transaction, tuition payment, gift, vacation, dental bill. $78,492 over 2 years. If I'm just the guy who pays, consider this the invoice for your time. You can't charge us for love. It wasn't love, Naomi. Love requires respect. You gave me pity. She gave me contempt. Then I said something I knew would hit. You told me Lila's father left. I finally understand why. I moved out that weekend. Left them the basics. Couch, fridge, microwave. Took everything else I paid for. A month later, Naomi called. She'd been evicted. Lila had to transfer schools. She had the nerve to ask if I'd consider helping. Just temporarily. I told her I was dating someone new. Someone who called me by my name with respect, not as a bank account. She hung up. A week later, she posted on Facebook, "Some men can't handle strong women and rebellious teens." My friends sent it to me. I laughed. It's been a year. I bought a lakeside cabin. Met someone kind. Grounded. She has no kids, no entitlement, just peace. Sometimes I wonder what happened to Naomi and Lila, but I don't reach out, because revenge doesn't always need fire. Sometimes the most satisfying revenge is disappearing, and letting them feel the cold silence of the man who once gave them everything, and now gives them nothing. 2 months after Naomi and Lila moved out, things were quiet. At first, I was healing. I'd redecorated the house, cleared the closets, removed every trace of them. But just when I thought it was over, Naomi came storming back into my life. And this time, not through texts or tearful voicemails. It started with a letter from the state's child support services. Apparently, Naomi had filed a petition claiming I had assumed paternal responsibility for Lila. She was trying to get court-mandated child support for a child who'd told me to my face I wasn't her real father. I stared at the document for a long time. Then I picked up the phone and called my lawyer. "Tell me this is a joke," I said. He sighed. "Not a joke. She's trying to argue de facto parentage. She claims you took on a father role long enough that the court should compel you to continue supporting Lila, regardless of blood or marriage. But I never adopted her. We were never married. That's in your favor. But you'll need to fight this, and win publicly." When we entered the courtroom, Naomi showed up looking haggard, but still tried to play the victim. She claimed I'd abandoned them, that I'd strung her along, that I was Lila's father, in every way but blood. The judge looked at me. "Mr. Carter, do you consider yourself the father of the minor child?" I stood and replied, I considered myself her father. Until she made it crystal clear, I was just the bank account. I have no legal obligation, no biological link, and I was never even allowed a voice in parenting when it mattered. They used me. Then I handed over a flash drive and a thick folder. Inside was everything. Screenshots of Lila's messages saying I was just the guy who paid for stuff. A recording of Naomi saying I had no say in Lila's life because I wasn't the real father. Financial records showing they never contributed a cent. The judge took one look at Naomi and said, "Ma'am, what you're asking for is financial support from a man your daughter rejected and you dismissed as a non-parent. You want the perks of a husband and father without the commitment. Petition denied." She lost it right there in court. Screaming, crying, trying to plead with the judge. "He promised to take care of us. Promises don't equal contracts." The judge replied coldly, "You wanted him to be a wallet, not a parent. You made that bed." And it didn't stop there. Naomi's Facebook posts became rants. "Deadbeat men are everywhere. He pretended to be a father. He used us for his ego." I didn't respond, but people did. Some of her friends had seen the truth. One comment under her post read, "You told us he was just a paycheck. Guess he finally cashed out." Another said, "You raised your daughter to think money equals love. Now you're shocked the money left?" Brutal, but true. A few weeks later, she tried one last move. Naomi showed up at my office, unannounced. Tears in her eyes, holding an envelope. "Can we talk? Just 5 minutes." I sighed. "You have 3. She sat across from me, trembling. I was scared. "You were doing so much for us. I didn't know how to balance being grateful and independent. Lila didn't mean what she said. She's just a kid." I opened the envelope. Inside were photos. Lila at her new school, clearly struggling, no friends, no joy. Naomi was trying to play the guilt card. I just thought, maybe we could start over. As a family, I looked at her for a long moment. Then I leaned forward and said, "You didn't lose me because Lila said something cruel. You lost me because you agreed with her. I spent 2 years investing in you, not just with money, but with heart. You cashed out the moment I stopped being useful. Now you want me back because life got hard? I was never your partner. I was your retirement plan." She burst into tears. "I'm sorry. I messed up. I'm asking for another chance." I stood and opened the door. "You used your last chance 2 months ago. You just didn't hear the door slam." That same week, I launched a new consulting venture. It took off. Fast. Within 4 months, I landed a contract with a Fortune 500 firm. I was traveling, thriving, finally alive again. I even met someone, Jenna. No baggage. No hidden expectations. She didn't ask me what I earned. She asked me what I dreamed of. We clicked instantly. Meanwhile, Naomi. Someone sent me a screenshot from a GoFundMe she started titled, "Single Mom Struggling After Financial Abandonment." She was asking for $15,000 to keep her daughter in school. The comments were ruthless. "Didn't you brag about your fiancé paying for everything? Actions have consequences. I didn't donate." But I smiled. They say revenge is best served cold. But mine? Mine was served quiet, with receipts, court orders, and silence. I didn't raise my voice. I raised the bar, and they were never invited to reach it again.